morning, all my crafty friends. Happy New Year, and it's 2024. This is Nana Kaye with NanaKayeDesigns.com and the Altered Book Nook on Etsy.com. We are going to start 2024 off a little different, or at least I'm going to start it off different in my videos than I have done before. I am actually going to attempt to make a full-fledged junk journal. I have made lots and lots of journals. I've made hundreds of altered books, but I am not sure that I've ever made a true to title junk journal. So that's what we're going to start to attempt to do. So I'm going to show you on my desk what I started out with. And excuse me, I'm drinking my coffee this morning. It is cold outside. For January, we're getting quite a bit of chill. Of course, it's not as bad as other places in the world, so I am not going to complain, but it is chilly this morning. So, last swallow before we start. What you see on my desk is a lot of little odds and ends. I've got some rubber stamps. I've got some double-sided paper, some single-sided paper, but it's my 12 by 12 scraps. I have thousands and thousands of these pieces. I have hundreds and hundreds of pads. So there's lots of this scrap. I'm going to call it scrap. It's my 12 by 12 pieces, and it's what I have. And I have so much stuff that all of a sudden I realize I can't find half of what I have because I have so much stuff that I haven't used. So we're going to try to use buttons and ribbons and old pieces of clothing and junk mail envelopes and the 12 by 12 pads and pieces that I've torn out of books and scraps I have left over from printed stuff and book pages. The list goes on. We're going to really try to make a cool junk journal. I even got this book with my little blank pages that I'm going to tear some out of. So if you're going to follow along with me, grab you a handful of the pages like this, your 12 by 12s. We're going to prep those today. And grab you some scrap paper, some for writing, because we're going to do a lot of journaling spots in this junk journal. That's what a junk journal is all about, is something to put stuff in and write in. So that's what we're going to work with. Of course, have all your tools handy, your rulers, and all that. And unfortunately for me, I had two blades. I'm going to look at that's a pencil. I had two red blades. And they're missing, both of them. I cannot believe that I have carried off both my blades and have, again, too much junk and too much having to carry stuff from one place to the other. That's what's happened to me, is I've had to carry stuff from one place to the other, and somehow I've ended up misplacing both of my craft knives. So we're going to use our trusty little cutting board today as much as we can. We're going to start with our 12 by 12 papers, and I'm going to choose, let's see, I want 5 pages, because I want 20 pages in my journal, and 20 pages would be, these are going to make, each sheet of this will be 4, so we need 5 of these. And I really think, no, it doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find 5 that kind of blend. The colors blend, that's what I'm trying to say, or the style blends. I don't really like this side, so that one's out of the question for right now. I do like this one, but it's blank, so that's okay. That kind of matches. I already got one of those. That don't really go with my thing. It's like I'm only going to find 4 in my stack. Okay, so these were all marbles, so I guess I'm going to have to go with that one. Really clashes, doesn't it? We could do 2. I don't want that, so I am going to have to decide. So if I'm going to have to do that a little differently, I think we'll just do 4. Right, that'd be 16 pages. We'll start with these three. Okay, well, we're going to start with these three because there's plenty of time to find more of this and add to it. I got another stack over here. Let me see what I can find. Hope you can hear me. It's a little bit away from the microphone. And I have noticed with the heat running that it's kind of hard to hear me off in this back corner of the shop. I have this marbled one, and I like it, so there's that. I did manage to get 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 16 pages. But like I say, we can always add another one, and I really don't see anything wrong with this one. It's just not really quite the same. All right, let's just quit worrying about it. We're going to start with these 4. I have to decide how big I want my book, and I am not one who likes I don't like great big journals. This page is 12, and I do want an inside pocket, so when I flip this up, I have a pocket. So let's just kind of look and see what we can end up with if we do that. All right, there's my numbers are on this side over here, so I'm going to kind of go by that. A 7-inch journal. 7 inches is a good height for a journal, but 8 I think is a little better. So we're going to do it 8, which that makes that pocket really deep. I don't know that I want a 9. Let's go 8.5. And see if we get a pocket that looks about the size we want it. That is a really deep pocket. You know, we can always trim some off, but I really don't want to do a lot of trimming. I want to keep my pages. All right, that's good. All right, let's go ahead and fold it this line. Like I say, if this pocket is absolutely too deep, I can cut it, but I really don't. And this, I'm trying to form me a pattern so that once I go through and start making these journals like this, I don't have to do anything different. Now, I'm not going to glue anything down, but I'm going to leave it folded. And then, of course, you're going to fold it in half again. So this is the prep for the first page that we're going to work on. Okay, now, I used a heavy, I'm not using paper. This is a heavy cardstock inside of one of the 12 by 12 pads. So make sure you've got heavy cardstock. The reason why, we're going to add to this. We're going to add to this page here on the inside and the outside. You're not going to see a lot of this. You'll see the outside edges. But what we're going to do is add elements, flips, and different things to this on all 4 sides. So this has to be heavy enough to hold the weight that we're going to put on this. So that's what we're going to start with there. I'm going to go ahead and prep these 4 so we don't lose our train of thought. So it was 8.5. It was 8.5. So we're going to go back again. Get this on the 8.5-inch line right there. And get it where it folds right at the bottom of it. There. This one's not quite as heavy a weight paper as the first one, but it's still a heavyweight paper. I'm sure it came from a different pad. Okay. Fold it over. So technically, once it's done, we've already got the base for 8 pages right now. The base for 8 pages. Again, we want it at 8.5. Now my desk wants to be stubborn this morning. Okay. All right, we're going to go 8.5. I don't know what I'd do without my fingernails. Sometimes they work better with me than the bone folder. Okay. And fold it again this way. I think you've got the idea now. And these sticker papers, it is really hard to get them lined up across that edge there and hold it. But what I do is I press down tight before I start hitting my crease. And see, I still messed up a little. No, I didn't. It's fine. It was the pocket turned down. Oops. Press it down. All right, so now 12, the base for 12 pages done. And 8.5 again. 8.5 inch line. This is my last one I'm going to do. You guys got the idea of what you need to do to prep. So, yeah, hold it right there. Down with it. I see it trying to turn a little crooked on me right there. So I'm going to try to straighten it out again. Make sure we're still at 8.5. Holding it tight there because it was, for some reason, this particular piece is wanting to slide a little, but we got it. All right. And fold it in half again. Now, already, because of the heaviness of the paper and the fact that we folded up this edge right here, on here, we folded it up. We've got a lot of bulk, trying to bulk up at this thing. So, to alleviate that, I have a simple method, and this is where I really need my craft knife, but we're going to have to use scissors. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut on that fold, okay? I still did not alleviate my bulk, okay? So to alleviate my bulk right there, I am going to take off just a small sliver of paper up to the fold point. And I mean, I just took off the smallest amount. It may not be enough, but we're going to do both sides and see if that's enough to alleviate. And I have a hard time cutting on this side like this, so just bear with me. We're going to cut it up all the way to the top. Just a really small sliver. All right, so when we paste it down, I feel like I still got a little bit of bulk there, but let me see. No, that got rid of the bulk. Well, I think I need to cut just a little bit more off this top right here. Just a tiny bit. And I evened it up because both sides are a little crooked. So, you know what, let me check. I really wish I had not misplaced both my craft knives, but I can level up on here. Where there's a wheel, there's a way. So I'm going to just go right. I'm going to straighten it out, make sure it's straight. Make sure it's over that cut line just a tiny bit right here. I can't get it all into the video, but I just cut it right up in there. And I think that's all we had to cut off to make it even. So let's take a look and see what we got. Yep. Now it looks like it's going to fold over nicely. Crease it again to make sure. Yep. And we've got it. Okay. Now, you've got some edge in here. And we'll fix that when we, oh, see, this is one of those pages that decided when you folded it to slide. I'm making adjust it by putting it here, straightening it out myself, and doing this. See, it wants to pull. I may have to straighten it another way, but I got to try to get that straight right down that corner. And it's not easy, but there we go. Huh. And there we go. All right, so our pages are done. Now, you got to remember, these are our signatures. So right now we've got 4 small signatures going to be going in our journal. And each signature is going to make a page with interactive stuff on it. Okay, so let's start with this one. Again, I got bulk down here, and a little curve line, so I'm going to come up here with my blade. I'm going to put my fold, put my glasses on because I can't see no fold on this one. Matter of fact, let's turn it over this way where I can see. Well, I can't see that much better on that side, but a little better. All right, now my fold's right on my cut line here. And I want a slither cut off, so I'm going to move it to the left a little and cut it up to this point. And stop. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing. I have to turn around, go over here. And we're going to come right here and move, put it on that cut line and move it to the right a little. Cut the slither out. Okay. And there's our slither in the middle coming out. As you can see, hopefully you can see it. Okay, we're going to pull that right out. All right, and there's our boat. All right, this is what we're going to work on. So we'll prep the others later. I'll set them aside. Give me a swallow more coffee. My mouth is getting dry. And here we go. Now, because this one, and things are going to be different when you get to one that does not have, when you get to your ones that you're using that does not have a double-sided print, we're going to actually put another pattern on the back of the blank ones, which we had several. Like this one, we will cover this. So this step, there's going to be another step when we do this one. So keep that in mind. If you're using one that doesn't have a blank space, maybe I should go ahead and do one. Let me see, where's the first one we cut? I've already done that. Let me just tell you what you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and grab some other decorative paper, and I would highly suggest something thinner, and you're going to cover that with something. And this is a really good one for this one because I like the way it blends with this. But make sure you cover that, trim it up, and go ahead and fold. And I would use a lighter weight. I wouldn't use a heavy cardstock. I'd use a lighter weight to prevent excessive bulk. Doesn't have to go all the way down because you're going to put your pocket down. You can go get the whole piece and put it in if you want. I have this scrap, and I'm actually, since we're doing it, let's go ahead and do it. It's easier to go ahead and do it. So we'll go ahead and work with this piece here. Not what I plan on doing, but we will go ahead. Let's don't be confusing to people because I already know what I want to do. You watching me, I don't want to confuse you. On the line, and I'm pushing it to the left a little first, up to the fold line. Then I bring it in, put it on line, move it to the right just a little to give me just that little center slither. Take it out. And there it is. I'm going to put my fingernail on it. You may want a blade or something else, but I'll pop it out. All right, so there's our first step. Next step, we want to cover this. All right, so I'm going to use this piece here, and I'm going to glue it all down right there, like right here. Make sure I have all I need. Matter of fact, I'm going to measure this and cut it in half because I don't want bulk. So we need to cut it at 6. I'm going to cut this piece in half. And I don't normally use this piece right here, but it's obvious we need it. Okay. Obvious we need it, and I need it at 6, so I need to cut this at 6. I hope that's right because I don't normally use that. So there's 6 inches. Hopefully we're right. Okay, I'm going to glue it down all the way to the top here. Yes, I'm going to stain these. All right. Like I said, I don't have to have it as long as it goes into the pocket a little. Like so. Don't want no white space at the top. That looks good. And we're going to be able to fold it. And I'm trying to see, but I got a little white there. I'm not liking that. So, it's okay. We'll stain around it. All right, so let's glue this up. I just hope my glue works like it's supposed to this morning, first thing. And you guys will see me change my mind. I'll start to do one thing. If it doesn't look like it's going to work out, I'll flip to something else. I hope I'm not confusing you too bad. But the thing about this is you guys are learning right along with me. Because like I say, I don't think I have ever done a completely, what I call a junk journal. And unfortunately, this part we're going through is called prep, and I've said it 100 times, even in my digital journals. I've said it 100 times. The prep isn't necessary. It's not always the most pleasant part of doing journals because you want to get right into doing all the pretty stuff. But unfortunately, if you don't do the prep and do it right and do it well, all the pretty stuff's not going to be all that pretty. Okay, so we've got this piece down. So if you want to bypass the headache of what we're doing here, you just go ahead and get you some double-sided paper, and that'll solve that problem. I'm going to go right here. And when you get all this glued, you're going to have to go back and make sure along these edges that your glue really edged out to the edge. You want that sealed as much as possible. You don't want later on these edges to start popping up. Use a good quality glue, something you really trust. Art Glitter Glue, the Berry Art Glue, Fabri-Tac, 3-in-1. Those are all glues that are very trusted by people in this industry. So, and when I say this industry, I'm talking about the scrapbook queens of our era. So we're going to have to go with this one. About the same distance. Let's make sure we're going to be able to flip it over without any bulk. I got more gap there than I want, but I think that's going to have to be necessary. I really think that's going to be necessary. I thought it was going to slide for me, but it didn't. But I'm going to get it as close to that edge as I can. Okay, let's see what we got. Yeah, we got a nice fold. That's what I'm going to concentrate on this fold because it's my signature and I want it to fold right. Then I'm going to come in with my trusty scissors because I don't have my blade. I'm so upset over my blade. I'm going to buy me one today. And they're not that expensive, so I'm going to buy me one. Break bad and go buy it. Cut it across here, trying to stay right on the edge. You know, you can trim it up later if you don't have it quite like you want it. Of course, me, you rattle back here to grab this. Me, you know me, I sand mine. Not only does it get rid of any little excess sticking up, it gives you kind of a rough edge when your stain really adheres to a little better. So, yep, I stain mine. Well, if I got anything sticking up, I can get it to go even. We don't do that. Okay. I'm seeing it sticking out just a tiny bit right there. So I need to work on this edge right here just a little. All right, now I think I've got my signature like I want it. I do see a little bit sticking out right there. Too much to say enough. I will trim it. And I'll sand it again a little bit. There we go. All right, so now this is our first signature. We're going to start building it now. All right, so we've got pockets on the inside. And if you want to put a thumb notch in it, now's the time to do it. It's a whole lot easier to do it now than later. So I'm gonna thumb notch it. If you wanted to make it any kind of intricate cutting on the edges, now would be the time to do it. I don't do a lot of intricate cutting on my pockets because you're going to be sliding stuff in and out. And if you've got a lot of the fancy stuff there, it's a real chance that it's going to snag. Now, if you just got to have fancy stuff on the edge, say you want that, then that's fine. But what I would do is if I was going to use this, I would just cut it at an oval around it. I wouldn't cut all this fancy out on these edges. Or you can just thumb notch and stick that little rascal right there. There's a lot. I have a lot of these cut. Well, not a lot, but quite a few. Same thing with this one. If you want to do it a pocket here, then I would just cut it here and use the fancy. Now, these are made for a little bit smaller book, but they would still work for me if I wanted to use them. For right now, we're not going to, but I may. That's not to say that I may not use some of these trends. Now, now since I've showed them to you, I've got to tell you, these are die cuts from Heartfelt Creations. Not sure if they still have this available because, like I said, I was an instructor for a few years, and I was instructor up to 2020 when things went haywire. I haven't done any classes because we couldn't get a lot of people together to do classes. But these came from Heartfelt Creations, and I probably ordered them in like 2018, 2019. So I'm not sure they still have them in stock. I hope they do, but just in case, that's where they come from. You can find them maybe. I do know that Temu has some fancies, but I don't suggest that a whole lot. Temu is okay for what I've gotten. I've got some nice Temu hauls as far as getting product. But Temu, once they get your email, they just bombard you with advertisements. They're constantly popping up on my phone, and I can't seem to get them off. So that's just a matter of choice you make. We're going to go down and glue just this edge as close as you can because I want to leave my pockets as wide open as I can. Oh, I did say I wanted to thumb notch it, didn't I? And I said right here and done this 15, 7.5. That's my center mark. For me, I have to always put just a little line here because I use that little place right there when I'm punching out to get myself centered. It's the center. I center it right in the middle of that. That's why I like my line. And my punch out with thumb notch. Okay, and my glue, I press it from the inside out. That way I kind of spread it to the whole edge. Now here I have to be careful because it has spread, so I'm going to have to wipe out the excess so that my page doesn't glue together right there. All right, so the pocket on that side is done. Do it again. This one should be 15.2. It should be a mark at 7.5. Right there. Remember my thumb notcher, my trusty little circle punch. I love it. And puncher. So now I've got my two thumb notches in. If you were going to stain it, you should stain it before you do this right here. Which I should have stained mine. I think I want to go with vintage photo on this one. So that's going to be my next step. I should have done that before glue, but me, I can still get it done because all I'm doing is just kind of sliding my mat across the top of that or my sponge right across the top. Don't want a lot, and it's not hurting the background any. That one's still wet, so I'm able to get that one right on up and do it. Okay, let's put her back. Get that glue really tight. I'll take about a few seconds to grab and hold. And that's what you want. And I just peeled out a little piece of paper so we definitely want to stay matte. Alright. And that's another thing. You're going to come up with little things little errors you feel like you've made. No big deal, guys. It's a junk journal, and that's what it is. but nothing that most of the time a little bit of stain won't take care of. Okay? So I folded it backwards. If you didn't catch that when I picked it up, I folded it backwards. And I'm staining the inside right now. Edges. Right down that white spot. I don't love white space. Anybody that watches my videos knows Kaye does not love white space. That's not to say it won't change sometime, because as I progress, I find things I didn't like before that I experiment with, and then I like it. So, okay, I think I've got my inside stained like I want it. And sometimes, just to give it a little more old effect, I come in like this. And you kind of get what the coffee stain effect in there. But I just take that like that. All right, same thing on my outside edge. While we're doing it, let's go ahead and do this one. I think I need to re-eat my pad here. Now, remember, you're not going to see a lot of this, so just a little light edging if you want some ink on the edging. Okay, so we've got the first signature base totally prepped now. We're ready to move on to our first project. I'm going to try to keep these videos around 30 minutes. We're already at 31 on this one, almost 32. So, well, right now, I'm going to say that that is a wrap on this one. You've got your first signature done and ready. That's a signature base. So let me say signature base, because this is not all of it. Now, our next video, we're going to go in and start decorating the pages of this and adding pages to it and whatever we're going to do. Because what we're going to do is this one and the other ones we've prepped or have started prepping. We're going to put in a book like this. So it's going to have these 4 base signatures in the book. And all these base signatures will have other pages added to them. So that's where we're going. Well, that's the route we're going with this junk journal. I hope you'll join me again on the next video. This is part 1 of Nana Kaye's adventure of a total junk journal. So that's what it's going to be. This is Nana Kaye Adventures in a total junk journal. So see you again soon. This is Nana Kaye signing off for right now. Don't miss the next one in the series. Bye-bye.